What's up, everybody? Welcome to the third episode of She's Got Game. So today I'm here with pro athlete and influencer Calloway. So how's it going?
Going well. Watch yourself.
Pretty good, pretty good. Well, I'm really glad to have you on the podcast. I've been watching your TikToks, your reels, and a little bit of your YouTube, the daily grind and everything. So I'm really glad that you're able to join today.
Glad to be on here.
Thank you. So we're here to talk about your journey and stuff like that. So I want to take it from the top. What initially got you started playing basketball?
I would say my dad. I can remember when I was 3 years old, he got me this Fisher Price basketball goal. And we were in the backyard and I was playing then. And ever since then, I just fell in love with it. And I've been playing since I was 3.
Wow, yeah. I feel like dads are a really big part of that because I'm literally the same way. My dad got me a little ball, and ever since then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So, at what point did you realize that you wanted to take the sport seriously?
I would say probably when I was in the 8th grade.
Eighth grade.
Because I've always played a lot of sports. So I'm a multi-athlete. I've played baseball, I've played soccer, football, even. So I've always played a lot of sports. And in my county, when you're you're in middle school, you can't play with the guys. So I played baseball with the guys when I was younger, all the way up until age 12. And I wanted to continue to play baseball, but I couldn't in middle school. So I was like, okay, well, let me take this serious and see where I can go with that, because I knew I couldn't play baseball anymore. So I would say probably around 8th grade is when I started to take it very serious.
Okay. And did you play AAU?
I started in 8th grade, my 8th grade summer to my 9th grade year in high school. So I started playing for a local club here in Macon. It's like a small city near my city in Georgia. So I started playing there. And then later on, like 2 years later, I moved to a bigger club in Atlanta.
Nice, nice. So, I know you played in college, so walk me through the process of you being able to play in college and where you ended up playing.
Okay, so I ended up playing at Mercer University, and actually, they were my first offer going
Wow.
into my 9th grade year. So the city I'm from, Forsyth, Georgia, it's like in the middle of Georgia, and then you have Macon, it's like right below it. So it's easy. It was easy for me to be recruited by them because we had a lot of buzz going around the city and the county and surrounding counties. So they were the first school that recruited me, the first school that offered me, the first school I actually took a visit to. But I never really, I'm not gonna say I didn't pay attention to them, but I never thought that I would go there. Like throughout my whole recruiting process and then like my whole high school career,
Mhm.
I don't know. I kept my eyes open and everything just to see what would come along. And around the time my senior year was time for me to take my official visits, I had them on the list because I thought, like, why not give them a chance? They're right here. I could be a homegrown star or whatever. So I ended up taking a visit. They were my first official visit. I took a visit there and I just fell in love with it, and it just felt like home. So I knew it in my heart, like, okay, I have to go to this school. So that's how it came about.
That's good. That's really good to hear. So you got there, and it's good that you said you felt like home and everything like that. So how was your experience actually playing in college?
Uh, my experience was actually very, very nice. Like all players, it started off kind of rocky my freshman year because it's new. You have to learn to adapt. It's a lot of new things you have to get used to. Playing style, speed, physicality, and just college in itself. Like the workload and having to study on your own and be on your own. So freshman year, it was it wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best. It started off kind of rocky, especially playing. I actually started off playing point guard, but I'm actually a two guard, so that in itself was a bit challenging. But school was fine. We weren't winning as many games during like the non-conference play, but then when conference came around, we actually shocked a lot of people. We were picked to finish fifth in the preseason, so we ended up finishing first. We won a regular season championship, so that was great. And we almost won the tournament championship. We lost, but I would say that year really taught me a lot. I learned how to, work out on my own, how to, hone in on my skills and just do the individual skill work that I needed in order to become the player that I am today. So freshman year started off rocky and it ended on a good note. Sophomore year, and that's probably was the toughest year because just carrying off the momentum from my freshman year, I thought that I would have a better season than I did, but it just wasn't my time. But I would say that year really just taught me a lot of perseverance and just how to stick with it. Although I wasn't having the year that I wanted to, I was still working out all the time and things of that nature. And we did win the SoCon regular season championship again, which was great. And we didn't win the tournament championship, so that wasn't so great. But all in all, that year was okay. Junior year, that's when things started to get very, very great. I actually had the season that I wanted to. I actually passed my expectations. I exceeded my expectations for myself. We won the regular season championship again, and we also won the tournament championship. Got to go to the NCAA tournament, so that was great. That experience in itself is a lifetime experience, like one in a lifetime. And you just have to be there to just understand what it is and what it means. And also, that was the first time that our program went, so it was great. So junior year, going great. And then senior year, we won the regular season championship and tournament championship again. So I would say it started off kind of rocky, but it ended off on a very, very high note. So it was great.
That's good. That's really good to hear. And it's good to hear that you kept working even though it wasn't going your way at the start. So you kind of just had to push through and it seemed like it was pretty worth it.
Yeah, it was definitely. I'd do it all over again if I could.
Yeah, that's good. So I know you played in a whole lot of countries so far. So was playing overseas in your plans in college and growing up?
Growing up, I actually didn't even know about having an opportunity to play overseas because from where I'm from, we've had a couple of pro athletes, like mainly football. So we've had a couple of people playing NFL, and it was one female basketball player. Her name was Latoya Davis. She played at Tennessee, and then she also played overseas for a little bit. But when she stopped playing, she moved to Tennessee. She moved and lived in Tennessee. So I never really got to interact with anyone that had been there and done that. So I didn't even know it was a thing, honestly. And then throughout college, I wasn't really focused on. I wanted to play in the WNBA, so I was like focused on that, but I never like closed that off. And then like my senior year, like I would say towards the end, and I was like, okay, like this is going to be a reality for me. So that's when it like started to click. But other than that, I really didn't think too much about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and like you said, a lot of young girls playing basketball, they don't know that overseas is like an option for them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that WNBA players, they go overseas in the off season anyway. So it's like that's kind of why I started this podcast to kind of talk with more women who've played overseas because that's where I want to be when I'm older. So it's good that I'm kind of getting this one-on-one conversations and stuff like that, but I really want to promote like how there's women who play overseas and make a living off of this. So yeah. So where was your first experience overseas?
So my first experience overseas was in Poland, and I only played there for. I got there like mid-August, and I left like early December. I actually ended up getting cut, and which I'm thankful that happened because it really, I'm not gonna say fueled me, but it really just showed me what I was made of. It was a very, very tough experience for me, very rough time, and I don't know. I was the only American on the team as a rookie. It was like we had three other foreigners, but they all were two were from Croatia and one was from Africa, I think. So I was the only one that really spoke like fluent English. That was my first time being like far away, being out the country, like by myself. And it was just tough. It was just tough mentally, more so mentally than it was physically. Physically, it was okay. It was just really, really tough mentally. And I didn't really play well, so I ended up getting cut. I came home in December of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
January 2020, I ended up getting another contract to go play in Finland, but I only played there for like 3 months because that's when COVID hit in March. But I would say my experience there was better than it was in Poland because Poland really, like built me up for that. So I actually played in 2 countries my first year, which is kind of wild, but yeah, that year was very tough. Just making that transition, being alone, being away from family, and just the whole time difference and cultural differences and everything. It was just tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely can see that playing overseas because even here in Costa Rica, my dad, he owns a pro team on the men's side. the season's just starting and a lot of people are getting cut and stuff like that. So it's good to kind of hear what the mentality is because not everybody has like a strong mentality. Some people are going to go home and kind of like not even train and not even get back into basketball. So I know it's kind of something that not a lot of people go through that can kind of just fuel your fire. And look at you now, you've played in a bunch of other places. So that's definitely good to hear. So were there any differences in the playing styles? And if so, were you able to adjust to them?
I would say differences in playing style. Usually, okay, sometimes, well, in mid-major D1, I know sometimes you have a lot of post players who may be like, you may have like a 5'8" girl playing in the post or 5'9", 5'10", but overseas you won't really see that. You'll see like 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", like anywhere from, in that range. And then, so you have taller players. They're definitely more physical because they're grown women,
Mm-hmm.
they're stronger. Uh, the playing speed is not necessarily faster. It just depends on which club you go to and how the coach likes to play. But I would say it's definitely more physical. It's like the spacing is different. You have a lot of room to like navigate and do things. You run a lot of more ball screens and things of that nature. And
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty much when you're an import and you go over there, they look for you to score. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to really be like good one-on-one. So sometimes it's a lot of one-on-one basketball. It depends on the coach. Some coaches will be like, hey, here's the ball, no plays, go do what you need to do. And then other coaches like, all right, here's the ball, go run and play. Like, yeah, they actually have a system or an
Mm-hmm.
actual offense. So it varies from country to country, from team to team. But I would definitely say more ball screens, and bigger post players and more physical and stronger women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely can see that playing here in Costa Rica. I know it's different than a bunch of other countries. Every country is really different, but once you get to another place outside of the US, it's like they stress plays a lot. They stress moving the ball, pass, 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 shoot. So I can definitely see that. So with that being said, what has been your favorite country so far to play in?
Okay, my favorite country to play in. Well, actually, okay, I'm gonna give you my favorite country to play in and my favorite country to live in, if that's okay. My
Mm-hmm.
favorite country that I've played in was I would say Poland because it's a very competitive league.
Mm-hmm.
From top to bottom, the teams are competitive, and I got the chance to play there last year, so my fifth year. And I told you I started out there my first year, and I was able to go back and have a really great year. So it really meant a lot to me. So I would say
Nice.
Poland, and then my favorite country to live in, Greece, by far. I was in Athens.
Greece.
It was great.
I heard it's really beautiful there.
And the food is immaculate.
Really, really. That's good to know. I love to play in those places. So, next question. As far as training, so I know you do the day in the lives and you get your training in, you get your work in. So, as far as the training regimen, like growing up, did you have one? And if so, how has it changed once you made it to the collegiate level and then to the pro level?
Okay, growing up, I really didn't have like a training regimen. I would more so just be outside playing with kids in my neighborhood. Or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes my dad and his friends, they would go play. Like we have this court called the top court. It's like a black court, outdoor court. I
Uh-huh.
would go with him and like shoot around on the side goals. Or when I was a little bit of age, he would let me play with them. So I started playing with them. And sometimes me and him would go shoot, but not as often. So I really didn't have a training regimen. I didn't really lift weights until I was in high school and had to take a weightlifting class. And I don't really recall doing much extra work outside of my required practices and things, which I wish I would have. But I just really was outside with my friends in the neighborhood playing or playing with the men and my dad, like just little stuff like that. And then once I got into college, like I've always been like very skilled, and in high school, like it's very common for you to be better than everyone else, like already. And then once I got to college, I soon realized that, hey, all of these girls are just as good as me, if not better. So I then figured out that I had to do extra work outside of the required hours within the team. in order for me to set myself apart. I started going in to shoot late at night after I got done studying, after practices, or early in the morning at 5 o'clock. It was sometimes I would even sleep in the locker room because I majored in biology, so I had a lot of lab hours I had to check off. I had a lot of, it was just more time consuming. So I would sleep in the locker room sometimes so I can wake up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, get a workout in, go to my lab at 8, and or either I would come in at 11 or 12 o'clock at night just to get a workout in, so I could make sure that I was able to perform at the level that I wanted to perform at.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That definitely takes a lot of drive and a lot of commitment. So I know it was probably mentally, physically draining, but you can see now it kind of paid off.
Sure.
Look at you have a career off of it and everything. So that's really, really, really good. So I know you're playing in multiple countries, and there's a lot of different cultures that you kind of have to adapt to. Was there any type of like culture shock or anything like that that you experienced?
I would say culture shock. I would say in Europe, for sure, they don't have dryers. I don't know if you have dryers over there, but they don't have dryers to dry your clothes. So we have to hang them, and that was like a culture shock to me. And also, when you go to grocery stores, like you don't get to get a bag for free. Like you have to pay for it or bring your own. So I would say just those two things. Just those two for sure.
Yeah, that's similar to here with the grocery thing. And some people have dryers. We have dryers, but a lot of people just opt to just hanging it outside. So I can see how that's really different. You can't really just dry your clothes real quick and go. It's like you gotta wait. So yeah. So were you able to learn any of the languages?
Okay. I have picked up bits and pieces from each. Like I know how to say the basics, like hey, bye. In Poland, I learned a little bit. Well, I can recall a little bit more because it's the most recent country. But in every country, I'll try to learn a little bit, not much, but just a little bit, like little phrases here and there.
Yeah, I remember I saw one of your, I think it was a TikTok or a YouTube short where you were doing like trying to pronounce the words and stuff like that. It seems like a tough language.
It is very tough, but every country I go to, I try to. I'm not gonna say become a part of. I try to immerse myself, try to learn their language, their culture and stuff, so I can make it feel like home. Because it is tough being away from your actual home, and the more that you do those little things, the more that they see you doing those things, the more that they're gonna accept you and just try to, interact with you and do stuff. So it's not as lonely then. So I just try my best to learn as much as I can also because it's just like you only live once and you just never know. You never know. I may have to pull out a couple Polish phrases here and there in my life. I don't know. So I just try to learn as much as I can. It is very difficult. The Polish language to me is by far the most difficult language I've tried to, learn.
Really?
Yeah. It is.
Yeah. I know it's like really difficult for those languages who kind of have like different alphabets, different letters in it. So it's like, what does this even mean? I can definitely see it.
The pronunciation is different. So I might pronounce it like I would over here, and they like, no, like I'm totally off. I'm like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. So are you in the off season right now?
Yeah, I'm in the off season right now. So I got when? March? No, late February.
Okay.
So
and do you have what's that?
I'm sorry. No, I was just like I'll be here till probably like mid-August or early August again, same time.
Okay. And do you have any idea on where you plan on playing next?
Yeah, I have an idea, but it's not set in stone. I haven't signed a contract yet, but we have come to an agreement. So yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's good. And I see you put in the work in, so I know you're gonna be ready.
Oh yeah, I'm going to work out as soon as we get done here.
That's good. That's good. All right. So with overseas hoops being so cutthroat and the cutting and everything like that, what's your mentality when starting a new season in a new country?
My mentality when starting a new season, first and foremost, is to just be myself. Because just be myself, go there, show what kind of person that I am, what kind of attitude I have, have a positive attitude, go over there with an open mind, not closed off, ready to learn, just ready to be a sponge, to soak up everything that I can and do what I can. And secondly, it's just to be a professional no matter what's going on. Like, no matter what. It don't matter you having family issues or you don't feel well or anything. Just try to be the best professional that I can be, because I know, like you said, it is cutthroat, and some of those teams, they really don't care about that stuff. So I just try to be a professional, try to just do my job to the best of my ability day in and day out. Not complain much. Just really just honestly and truly be a great professional. So whether that comes to, on the court, off the court, if they ask us to go to this event, that event, just do it. No questions asked. Whatever is asked of me, just do it and do it to the best of my ability. You just go in with never go in scared, because it is cutthroat. You can be cut at any time, but never go in scared. You'll go in with complete faith and belief in yourself and your abilities, and trusting in the work that you've put in the off season, and really just go in ready to work. Just ready to do whatever you need to do in order to get to where you want to be. That's how I think. I'm ready to work. Once I go there, this is my job. Playtime is over. All the leisure time is over. I'm here to work and, just do what I need to do. I always have my goals in mind, the end goal and everything. So just go in ready to work and just make it happen.
Okay, yeah, that's really good to hear from somebody like you, because even here in Costa Rica, the leagues aren't nearly as like competitive as they are in places in like Europe and stuff. But you still have Americans and other foreigners coming here, and it's good to hear what that mentality is like, because in the beginning of the season, like the whole roster is going to be completely different than the end of the season. So it's good to hear like the mentality and how it is and stuff like that, because a lot of people, they don't really take it as seriously. Even though I know you have a lot of experience, but just to the less experienced people, if I was in their shoes, it's great advice to kind of hear from you. Yeah. So next off, we have some speed questions, kind of just to get to know you a little bit better as a player and stuff like that. So there's 10 questions, and then we're going to end it off with a bonus question. All right, let's get it. So the first question is your go-to pregame song.
Go-to pregame song would be "Oh Okay" by Ghana, Young Thug, and Lil Baby.
I like that song. That's really good. All right. Next one is, what is your favorite hooping shoes at the moment?
My favorite hooping shoes at the moment would be the KD16s. The lows. I like those.
Yeah, I have those. Those are really, really comfortable. All right. Next one. What are your top 3 favorite players? So they could be male, female, at any time point, any level.
All right. My favorite player right now, men or women, Damian Lillard. Next, she's retired, but to me, she's the GOAT, Maya Moore. And then third, I would have to say Candace Parker.
Yeah, I like Candace Parker. I grew up watching her, so yeah, she's definitely an inspiration. And then my dad likes Damian Lillard, so he's a really good player anyway, so definitely. All right, so next one. What is your, so I know like a lot of players, I feel like every hooper has their go-to move. So what's your go-to move that kind of works every time?
My go-to move that works every time would probably be in and out, like an in and out crossover, step back at the same time to a shot. I would say that, or a between cross to a pull-up.
Yeah, so you're shifty with it, huh?
A little bit sometimes. Or I could just go with the 3. That always works, but nowadays they don't really let me get open, so I had to get open myself.
And it's a lot different overseas. So I know, like, you being like an American recruit, it's completely different. Like you said, a lot of the times they just give you the ball and you're like, okay, go get some points, go score. So I think that's really good, because for me, I've played the first division season last year, but I'm not a recruit. I just live here. So it's a little bit different. There's politics and all this stuff. But once I get to my age group, it's kind of easier. You can work on your shiftiness and all those moves. So yeah, definitely. The in-between cross is also my go-to. So it works every time.
Nice.
So next one, I want you to describe your game with 3 words.
My game with 3 words, I would say smooth, laid back, but and killer. Like I'm a smooth, laid back, solid killer. Yeah. So smooth, laid back, and killer.
That's good. Those are 3 good components to have, though. Definitely. All right. What's your favorite basketball movie?
My favorite basketball movie is Like Mike. That's it.
Like my good, good. I was talking to another lady earlier who also played, and we were talking about how everyone has been choosing Love and Basketball. It's kind
Oh,
of a
close,
basic answer.
close. It's a close second, but I love Like Mike.
Yeah, that's a really good movie. Definitely, it's a classic. All right, next one. So again, since you've played in all these different environments in different countries, what is the coolest environment that you've been able to play in?
Greece, Athens, the whole like just the history surrounding that city, or Greece in itself, and just the food, the culture, the people. Like, it's like very warm. The weather is warm. People are warm. Food is great. Just I would say just Athens and Greece. Yeah,
Really? Sounds like paradise.
it is very
Wow.
much.
And how's the fan base there? I know in like a lot of different countries, basketball is like huge because they don't have like an AT&T Center or somewhere to go watch an NBA game or WNBA. So how is that environment like the fan base like?
Very nice. It's very nice, and and often you have like a bunch of young kids that'll come, like parents that'll bring their young kids, and a bunch of young girls. So it's always nice, seeing all of them, and they come up to you after the games. Like they literally think you're a superstar. They come up to you after the game. Literally, the same kids will get an autograph after every game. So it's just nice,
Mm-hmm.
just seeing the younger kids there and knowing that you are inspiring them, and also some of the elder people as well. They come and they think you're a superstar as well. They also get autographs and they love you. So just seeing everyone there and knowing that they're actually invested in the game or in you as a player in person, it's just very cool, very nice.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good environment. Sounds like a really good time too. So with that being said, I know, like I said, Greece sounds like paradise, but is there a location that's like your dream location that you haven't played in yet?
Uh, I want to play in Spain. I want to play in Spain, yeah.
Okay.
Very great league, so I want to play there before it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you'll get there. Just keep
Hope
working,
so.
huh? Yeah,
Hope
I'm
so.
pretty sure you're gonna get there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So another question, what do you think separates you from everyone else at your position?
In my position, I would just say my shooting ability.
Mm-hmm.
I can shoot the three very well, and I can shoot it from a very, very deep range.
Mm-hmm.
So that causes the opponents to have to pick me up like early, and I can also shoot the transition three well. So anytime
Mm-hmm.
I'm around the 3 point line, I'm a threat. So it opens up the floor for me to show how dynamic I am. I'm not just a shooter. I'm a little quick. I can get to the basket. I can do other things. So I would say my shooting ability, while also being quick and having that elusiveness to my game. So I do a lot of things.
Yeah, that's really good. And it's really good to have the shot too. Like my dad always says, it pays to be a shooter, and quite
Yeah.
literally, it does pay to be a shooter. But yeah, and even for me, like we have like shooting machines here and stuff like that, so I'm always on it. So it pays off in games, and basketball is so easy when you can just shoot the ball. So,
Yeah, for sure.
all right, next question. If you didn't hoop, what sport would you be a pro in?
Skateboarding.
Skateboarding.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a different answer. I haven't heard that one.
I actually wanted to be a pro skateboarder when I was like 12, 11, 13.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. It seems like a cool sport though. It's like a nice culture with it and everything.
it's for sure.
Yeah, that's really cool. I know Kyrie, I think he used to skateboard too. I heard saw some videos of him. I was like, okay, Kyrie. I didn't know that.
I used to have several skateboards. I used to love it. BMX
Really?
bike and everything. Yeah.
Wow. That's really, really cool. All right. So now to end it off, we just have the bonus question. So what's a piece of advice you would give someone who aspires to be in your position?
I would say to just believe in yourself first and foremost. Believe in yourself 100%. Like be your biggest fan,
Mhm.
and also be your biggest critic. Be honest with yourself, and be able to just analyze where you are right in that moment, and be able to have the ability to make a game plan and stick to it. Be relentless and just really work your tail off to get to where you want to be. Like anything is possible as long as you believe and you work for it. I believe you'll get it for sure.
Definitely. I'm definitely going to take that advice and I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, of course.
So that's going to end off the interview. Again, I want to thank you so much for being here, for taking the time out of your day. I know you're busy and everything, but yeah, just thank you so much. I'm going to keep watching your videos and everything, just taking inspiration from it. So thanks.
Thank you so much for having me. I really, I really love what you're doing, and I just want to say good luck to you on your journey. And like I just said, believe in yourself and work hard, and you'll accomplish everything you want to accomplish.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right.
Have a great day.
You too.